Hey everybody. How y'all doing? I am doing pretty. All right, y'all. I forgot to add myself to the daggone stage. I'm sitting back here like, what is going on? But then I realized I got to add myself to the stage. I hadn't even added myself to the stage. So, how y'all doing today? I hope everybody's doing lovely. Oh, on this December 20th, how many days before Christmas, y'all? Which is crazy. We got how many days before Christmas? 3, 4. And I'm just now slowly getting back to reality. I have not been in touch with reality for about 6 weeks. Yep, since I had the surgery. But I'm much better now. I am much, much better now. Thank you for all y'all prayers because whoever have to have something's wrong with your shoulder, yeah, please don't take that lightly. Go to the doctor about that right away. Don't do what I did and keep putting it off and putting it off and think, oh, it ain't nothing. Yeah, it's something. All right. So, but I am almost back to 100. Almost. And I am thankful for that. So, I was thinking about something, y'all. Oh, wait, let me do it right. Welcome to Kiki Loves Nigeria. Let me get the script up here because this show is a really important show. This show is coming straight from my heart. This was placed on my heart to do. So let me get my script up here. But first, I want to play y'all this song. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I want to share this video with you, but let me do my fair use because everything I use on here falls under the copyright agreement of fair use. And that's because I use these videos for educational purposes only. And it falls under the Copyright Act of 1976 that says that I can use these videos for educational commentary. And some people use them, to make jokes and stuff and to educate people. So that's what I do with them. I educate people. I teach you how to do research. I teach you how to use primary sources because these, excuse me, these videos are primary sources. A primary source, you guys, are information that comes directly from the source. It ain't she said it, he said it. You can go right there and say, Kiki said it, and this is where she said it at. I can go through her transcript and I can tell you 5 minutes and 4 seconds into the show, she clearly made these statements. All right. So that's why I like to use what is this? Primary sources. So let me do it right. Before we begin, I need to clearly state the following. This video contains commentary, criticism, and analysis for educational purposes. Any video clips shown are used under the Fair Act, fair use, as defined by the Copyright Law of 1976 for the purpose of commentary, criticism, and public discussion. All right. Everything discussed in the video represents my personal opinion. All right. This is my personal opinion based on publicly available information. Now, some of this information I got was not publicly available. Some of this information was private information that was sent to me. It was between those two parties, but they sent the information to me. So it was not, a lot of the information that I have is not readily available to the public. All right. So I needed to add that. All statements made about the individuals, the outcomes, or experienced are alleged. So let's make sure, I got to be more clear at doing that. Okay. Because I can think you did it all day long. And I can just constantly think that because that's my opinion. And I'm entitled to my opinion. But what I am not entitled to is to convict you like you are in a court of law. You know, I can't go around and say, oh, you were convicted of fraud. And no, you weren't. There's a people alleging that you committed fraud, but have they been convicted? No, most of them have not even been to court. T3 and me are currently in court. I know some of them are in court, but most of them, no, they've taken the money and they've ran. Okay, so where am I at? All statements made about individuals' outcome, oh, they're alleged. Okay, it's all alleged, because until we get it from the court document, it's alleged. Viewers are, and that's what I always tell y'all. I encourage you guys to do your own research. Don't just go by what I say. Let what I say encourage you to look more and to dive deeper, to get your own understanding. Be like, what? Did they really say that? Did they really do that? Oh no, I'm gonna go check for myself. I can't believe she's saying that. That's what I do this for. Another reason is that I want you to learn how to do your own research. Okay. Viewers are encouraged to do their own research and form their own conclusions so we can have a full debate and a full healthy conversation. So I don't want for people to say, oh, she just want people to talk like her, think like her. No, that's boring. That's completely 100% boring. No, I like different views. Long as you can, back up your view, then I'm cool, with what your view is. As long as you're not, coming on here disrespecting people and everything, then we're cool with that. All right. The viewers are encouraged to do their own research and form their own conclusions. This video is not an attack on an individual, Lord. So please understand, y'all. Please understand that the individuals, the YouTube content creators, are only examples. When you write, you got to have an example. I have to have an example to show you what I'm talking about. So I look on YouTube and I see, oh, this YouTube content creator is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So I'll use this person or this situation. It's not that I said, oh, I'm just going to go get Crazy Boy and talk about Crazy Boy because I don't like Crazy Boy. No. Most of these people I don't know, but I do know Crazy personally. But most of these people I've never met, and I've met Black Acres of the Gambia. I've met those 3 people. But these other people, no. That I've talked about, no. Never, ever met them. Know nothing about them. So how can I have anything personal, a personal issue with you when I don't even personally know you? That doesn't make sense, people. For me to dislike you as a person, I have to know you as a person. But after reading, studying these people, man, you know them as people, and you can't seriously dislike them. So remember that, okay? Where are we at? This video is not an attack on an individual, culture, a culture or a country or a content creator. All right, so please, please, please get that straight. Quit feeling all like that. Nobody's talking about you. You're thinking too highly of yourself. You're just merely an example of the behavior, of the quality of whatever we're talking about. You're just that example at that time. All right. Not assigning intent or making claims about private matters. I'm sorry, let me go back. We are examining public narratives, patterns, and outcomes. And that's what I look at. What people are talking about in the comment section, that's a public narrative. Videos, what they're saying in the video. All right. Then I'm looking at the patterns. Do they always say this, or do they switch up when they talk to somebody else? Are they the switch up type, or do they say the same thing? All right. Then I'm also looking at outcomes. What are the outcomes? What happened in the end? And that's what I'm looking at. And that's how I'm getting to the analysis part. What are the outcomes? Because I realized today, I have been earlier this week, maybe last week. I realized I have been studying this Gambian repatriation movement for 5 years, y'all. That's 5 years of research. That's a dang on dissertation. Do y'all realize that? Do y'all realize that? I've already done the daggone research. All I got to do is enroll into the school, find a program, enroll into that school, get somebody to pay for it, because I've already done the research. And I said, oh, no, I need to do something with this. I can't just sit on this. I cannot, this information I have, everything that I've done, all these 5 years, all these 3 hour long videos of me talking, of you guys talking. Nah, those are primary sources. You can't just let those like just go to waste like that. So I'm thinking about this stuff and I'm like, Dad, I should really put this in a book, because people are telling me you need to write a book. You need to write a book. Well, today I started today. I started writing the book today. And this is going to be a good book, because guess what? When I finished the first chapter I was writing today, guess what? I said, ooh, what's going to happen next? So that led me to this. So I'm thinking about, okay, I can put all this information in a book, because I can't just leave. I don't like when research isn't really like you do the research and you just leave it there. You don't do anything with it. So I want to do something with it so I can convert it into a book. I sell it to people, and more people it'll help people with the repatriation movement, so they'll know how to repatriate safely and smartly. All right. So that was one thing I was thinking about the book. And then I started like really reminiscing about Gambia, because of course, it's 6 months. It's almost time for me to go back. So, I'm like, okay, it's time for me to start planning this trip also. So I'm really reminiscing about Gambia. I'm really missing it, and I'm looking at videos, y'all. And then the older videos start popping up. And guess whose video popped up, y'all? Eric and Nicole from the Soul Food Joint. Y'all remember them? Do y'all remember Eric and Nicole? Do y'all remember Eric and Nicole? So I started watching that video, and I just went on their channel, and I just started going through all the videos, and I was like, wow, this Gambia, and how nobody is really talking about Gambia now. Like before, not 2019, 2020, Gambia was the hottest thing. That's all people were talking about. Repatriate to Gambia, repatriate to Gambia. There was videos everywhere. That's all people were talking about. Gambia was basically competing with Ghana. People were like, I'm not sure if I'm going to go to Gambia. I'm not sure if I'm going to go to Ghana. So they were competing like then these countries are completely opposite from each other. Completely. So, the fact that Gambia is like, they can compete with Ghana with repatriation, that speaks volumes. All right. So I'm like, okay. So I'm looking at all this and I'm thinking about, how it used to be. And I'm thinking about going there. I've got to go there soon. So I'm getting like reminiscent. So I said, you know what? That's what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about how these people went to Gambia. So many of us. Not including the ones who didn't go, who didn't like go 100%. There were ones like me who were like back and forth, and who I was going. Remember, I told y'all, but my present day husband talked me out of it. He was like, no, he was telling me it was too expensive. While the repats was telling me it wasn't expensive, he was telling me it's too expensive. It's not worth you leaving the United States to come over here. You're not going to, what are you going to do over here? I didn't have a retire. I wasn't going to be retired. You know what I mean? I was going to just take whatever I got and go like everybody else. But if it wasn't for him constantly telling me, no, that ain't where it's at. You don't want to do that. That's not how you live here. That's not how you make it here. So I didn't go. But what about the ones who did go? All of them. Y'all don't even realize how many people went. When I went to Gambia the first time in 2021, y'all, I went to the village. I kid you not. That village was full of Black Americans, Black UK people, Black British people, British people and UK people, those I call them the same thing. But British and UK people, it was full of Black Americans, it was full of Caribbeans, Black Caribbean. I mean, everywhere. Everywhere. It was nothing for you to look up and you would hear an American accent. That was the first time I had went to Africa and experienced that. So my mind was blown because I'm like, what is going on? Because remember, I'm a historian. I'm a trained historian. So that's a phenomenon. That's a new trend. African Americans don't go to Africa like that. And I'm over there, I'm hearing them speaking Ebonics because I'm hearing Ebonics. I'm not hearing standard American accent. No, I'm hearing Ebonics. So I'm like, who's in the village in the Gambia speaking Ebonics? So I look around and I found them, of course. But my thought then was, I wonder what led them to Gambia. I wonder what led them here, of all places. And they were young. They were young Black Americans. They were probably in their 20s. And when I was in my 20s, I'm looking for places to party. So I'm thinking, I wonder if if they think this is where they're coming to party. And honey, I guess it was. So I say all that to say that I noticed that we were filing into Africa in 2021. We were going to the Gambia in strong numbers. But now, when you look now, and I'm using the same source I was using back then, which was YouTube. I would just sit in my home. Because we couldn't do nothing. School was out. I don't think I was able to go back to school until like that October or something. And that was online. So we had plenty of time. So I would just watch YouTube. So I'm looking at all of this on YouTube, all of this about repatriation to Gambia and Tanzania. Tanzania and Gambia was just like, man, everybody was talking about that. Those were the two everybody were talking about. Everybody. So that's when hold on, y'all, let me get to my notes. So that's what brings us here tonight. All right. It was from everything that I have been thinking about, everything that I have been seeing, everything that I have been researching through this whole 5-year time frame. As I look back on 2021 and look ahead on 2026 at the Gambia and this repatriation movement, I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. And the sad thing about it is, like I said in my title, people have sold their life savings. They have sold their homes. They have left their careers. They've given up everything for this repatriation movement to the Gambia. Everything. To come back with nothing. To come back with nothing. And that blows my mind. And it's nothing to be embarrassed at. It's nothing to be embarrassed. And I'm not saying it to embarrass anybody or to shame anybody. But that's something we need to really think about. That I invested everything I had. And I lost it all. I lost every bit of it. Wait a minute, I gotta drink some water. I lost every bit of it. And I'm not saying only ones I know who are there now, because when I went this couple of months ago, I was just there in June, 6 months ago? I go up to the village. I didn't go inside. I'm looking to see, the people in the parking lot. And now the village is full of kids. Now it's full of kids. There's no Black Americans up there. There's no Black youth. It's not full of us anymore. And I'm like, where are they? They're not there anymore? Where do they go? I'm asking my husband. He said a lot of them have gone. I said, you don't see them around? He said, no, you used to see them all the time with their phones out, doing their YouTube stuff. But he said, no, a lot of them are not here anymore. And so that's when I started really just sitting down, really thinking about it, like, what if that was me? What if I would have met somebody who would have encouraged me to do that? And I would have invested everything. I know I would be back by now. I know I would. What do you do? Because when you come back, it's very hard to find a place to stay. You don't have a job and you haven't had a job. And to get a place to stay here, you got to make 3 times the rent. Be at your employer for a certain amount of time. And how are you going to meet any of those rent qualifications when you have been in Africa? So many people that you guys don't know about, forgotten about, are back home. And the travesty in that to me is that they didn't even tell us they were leaving. They told us they were going, but they didn't tell us they were leaving. All right, let me get y'all. Let me do this part first. No, I'm gonna get y'all comments and I'm gonna go back and do this part. Well, hi, Rosie, how you doing? Honey, yes, I feel so much better. I feel so much better, yes. Hi, Joy, how you doing? I'm feeling good. Yes, that's great, honey. That's wonderful news. Joy is saying hi to everybody. Hey, Maya. I know you like Kiki. Get my name right, please. I'm trying, honey. Hey, Dove, where you been? It's been a long time. You know that song, It's Been a Long Time by New Birth. I told y'all New Birth was my mother's favorite group. So I've been listening to New Birth since I was in the womb. Okay. So I know New Birth songs, right? And New Birth made this song, It's Been a Long Time. And so if you know it, you know it. And that's I'm singing that to you, Maya. Hey, London lady. Yeah, delusions of grandeur. But it was just those delusions got us in a lot of trouble. Hey, rockabye, baby. And guess what? I was thinking about you too, because I was thinking about John. I started, y'all. Oh God, I went way down memory lane. I went girl, I was playing Mary J. Blige, Reminisce. I went way down memory lane. Way down memory lane. And it was something. It was a road. And I thought about John and Bella. And I started watching John and Bella. And John took out, when we got into it, he took every video down me and him had made together. But he forgot there's one video still up there of us together. And I found that one and I was watching it. And I just started reminiscing about John, all the good times we had, me, John, and Bella. Oh, wow. So, yeah, it was some good times in the Gambia. Y'all, if y'all was there in 2021 around that time, you'll know what I'm talking about. It was like a high in the air. It was like you could just feel it in the air. And it was like we were in the Gambia. It was a lot of us. And like we would be together and you would just feel this. It was it was just this feeling I can't even put into words. It was a great feeling. I think BAG played a big role in this repatriation movement. And what I'm gonna do is a time frame, because I can't say, it's not fair to say the whole repat movement to the Gambia. All right. So I'm not gonna say the whole repat movement, but I am gonna say I'm gonna start from 2021 because that's when I started studying it. No, I think I started with Kwesi. Kwesi went back to like 2019, 2018, because Kwesi Boyd has been there longer than that. He's been there the longest. All right. And he's still there. He's still there. See, Kwesi went before the hype. BAG went a little before the hype, but those two are the oldest two that are there. All right. So I would say Bag did make them pop. Bag did play a big role in Gambia's repatriation. People wanting to go there because they are the ones who made me want to go there. So look, we're going to get started because we got a lot of videos to watch. All right. So before we start this video, I want y'all to think about this. Before we start these, listen. For many Black Americans, and I'm just going to say diasporas, for many diaspora, repatriation to Africa represented more than relocation. To Black Brits, to Black Americans, to Black Caribbeans, this meant more to us than repatriation to Africa. To relocation than just relocating to a place. This meant it represented healing to us. It represented escape. It represented belonging. And y'all, more importantly, you felt like you were going home. You felt like you were going home. And once you get that feeling when you're there, you get addicted to that feeling. And see, that's what happened to me. I felt like home. It always felt like home to me. And then once you get on that, and then that healing, you get healing, and you do get healing because guess what? You're in the sun. You're getting that vitamin D. You're getting that air. Although it may be polluted, but you're getting air and you're getting that sun. But that sunlight is not polluted. Okay. And for a growing number of people, the Gambia became a symbol of that dream, y'all. It became freedom. It became going home to Africa. It became everything that you dreamed of. Gambia became that. All right. And over the past several years, we watched individuals and families sell everything they have, leave their careers, cash out their entire savings. Many of them have done it. That's what I was going to do. Same thing. Take it all and move across the world. And they publicly documented the journey on YouTube. Yeah. Those people don't even know what they did. They put history down for us. They put history down for this because people study this. There's college professors who study repatriation movements. And here we are, present day repatriation movement that's documented, where we can clearly see what they did in the beginning, what they did in the middle, and what they did in the end. Now, again, this video is not about judging their decisions. This video is about asking the necessary question. And that is, y'all, was it worth it? Because I sit and I kept asking myself, that's what I kept saying. Was it worth it? Was it worth walking away from everything? Was it worth it? So guess what I want y'all to think about while we're watching this? Was it worth it? All right, so we're going to get started. Now, the first thing we're going to look at, I got some different people, okay, for us to pay attention to. All right, so hold on. Because I bet y'all ain't going to remember these people. I didn't come with Bag. I knew y'all like, oh, she going to bring Bag. Nope. I got to talk about them, though, because they were, Black Acres of the Gambia were extremely important to this movement. Extremely. You cannot talk about, oh, y'all, I didn't mean to show y'all my notes. You cannot talk about this movement and not talk about Black Acres of the Gambia. No. You cannot talk about the Gambia repatriation movement and not talk about Quasi Boyd. No. You definitely cannot talk about this movement and not talk about Miss Blacksit. No. You cannot. No history book who will tell the story of this movement could ever tell the story of this movement and tell it without Blacksit or tell it without if they try to tell it without Quasi Boyd, if they try to tell it without Blacksit, if they try to tell it without Black Acres of the Gambia, they lying to y'all. They lying to y'all. Because those three people, excuse me, in my humble opinion, from the research that I've done, those three people have put this movement in 2021 on the map. So hold on, y'all. I'm trying to pull up this video. Yeah, they have put this movement on the map. So we got to talk about them and how Black Acres use their YouTube channel. I can't say Rick is dumb. I ain't gonna say he's dumb no more because that was smart. The move Rick made, but before the move Rick made to use that YouTube channel, man, the way he used that YouTube channel, ingenious. All right, y'all. But before we begin, I want to show y'all what I want y'all to listen to this first video. Again, this is fair use. We're using this for educational purposes. We're talking about the repatriation movement in the Gambia. We're looking at African and Black American. We're looking at diaspora all around who sold everything, who sold it all to go back to Africa, to go back to the Gambia. And we're analyzing that to see, was it worth it? To give up everything you have, was it worth it? All right, so first I want y'all to check out this video. And this song is by Eric. Y'all remember Eric? Hold on, y'all, let me go to the beginning. Now, this man wrote this song. Now think about how talented we are. This man wrote this song. He's not from there. He's from here. He done went to Gambia, wrote a song, and performed the dang on song. The song was a hit, and performed it at a concert in the Gambia. Went to the radio, sang the song at the radio, everything. I mean, who would even think about doing that? To me, that's a really big deal, and I wanted to share that with y'all because that was a really big deal. We're gonna go. Y'all remember this? If y'all remember, put it in the comments if y'all remember this. Look, we was all singing that. Y'all remember? Y'all know I can't sing. First stop is the soul food joint. Jesus always on point. Every Sunday at the buffet, we party all night. I'm always in the morning. On the way back now, send it Gambia. When I'm gone, I'm on my way to Canada. Down in that joint, hanging out with the people, senorita. We girls can't wait till the next show. And you know, here we go. Gambia, Gambia, Gambia. Everybody say Gambia, Gambia. Everybody say Gambia. The spot for smiling coast of Africa. That's my song, y'all. I forgot about that song until today. So y'all remember Eric and Nicole from the Soul Food Joint? Do y'all remember them? Well, that's Eric and Nicole. All right, let me get these comments and I'm gonna go to the next one. Kiki, your husband not only is kind, wanting to help, girl, honey, he be asking about Kenza. How's that lady, baby? How's that? You know, the babe. What's her name? All you remember is the babe part. And he say, how is she doing? How is she doing? He feels sorry for her. He feel like everybody using her. But he's also logical. Way too expensive. That's what he said. That's what he kept saying. He kept saying Gambia is too expensive, baby. But I didn't know because, you know, I had went to Cameroon, but Cameroon, that was fake because I went with the university. I didn't have to pay for nothing. You know, everything was given to me. So that was a whole fake experience. So I'm going by what the repats are telling me, and they're telling me, oh, with $3,000, you could buy you some land, blah 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 blah. You probably could have back then. You could just get you a place and live. And I'm thinking, okay, we can do all that, but no, y'all, no. Thank God for him. Thank God he was telling me no, we ain't doing that. No. Kiki, you're okay. So let's go to the next one. Even Gambians don't want to live there as one of the most corrupt and honey, that's what he's saying. That's what he says. And it's just and it go up and up and up. You go to sleep, it's one price. You wake up, it's the next price. And you can't say nothing. You just got to deal with it. JD Okra is headed back to the Gambia, honey. I know, because guess what? Y'all know I've been watching Black Acres. Y'all know I'm always watching Black Acres. They fixed his little truck. Yeah, but that was messed up about JD Okra. Remember y'all, Okra? Look, I'm doing like Gambia. That girl Cynthia. Y'all remember what happened to him? His house was broken into. The wife got scared, and she was ready to go, because JD felt like it was somebody that they knew. Rosie, great, thanks. Hope you're all as well. We went in 2012. A lot has, a lot every time it changes. I'd argue that people, London Lady says, have been they have. And that's why I gotta say, you're right, London Lady, because that's where they're gonna get me. They're gonna say, but wait a minute, Kiki. This repatriation movement did not start in 2019. It started way before then. And they're absolutely right. It did start way before then. But that's why I'm looking at the YouTube movement, this YouTube repatriation movement. And I'm going to look at the dates. We're looking at the dates from 2021 to 2025. Okay. That time frame. So yeah, it did start before then. It was just the emergence of youth. Exactly. And that's the part that's the phenomenon that I'm looking at. The role social media changed the movement, because YouTube changed this movement, and y'all know it did. YouTube changed the whole daggone movement, because people, for one, it blew up because of YouTube. Nobody expected it to go that fast. Nobody expected that much money to be made. Nobody expected that many people to want to join. Nobody expected that to happen the way it happened. And when it did, people weren't ready for that. And again, when you have something that happens and it's not done, like it's not in order, and you don't have your checks and balances, then that means one person's going to have absolute power. And we know what absolute power does. Absolute power does what? Corrupts absolutely. So that's the interesting thing about this time frame I'm looking at. Okay, is because YouTube played a very important role in it, an extremely important role. All right, so you're absolutely right. YouTube did make a difference this time. It made it different from all the other times before, because the social media influencer pressure was on. And Black Acres of the Gambia and Crazy Boy are social media influencers. Art Kathy, social media influencer. You can tell the influencers from the content creators. It's different. Okay, they're different. Content creators just make content. They just make stuff. They'll make a channel about their life and just talk about their life every day. It's nothing for real. But an influencer, they're going to influence your life. You're going to listen to them. You're going to look to them for decisions. These three people were influencing this movement 101%, hands down. This social media movement. Crazy Boy and Art Kathy used what to reach people? Facebook. Art Kathy was recruited for the movement because of her social media influence on Facebook, y'all. Current Crazy weren't friends. They don't know each other. They didn't know each other. They wasn't like cool and like, hey, let's create this business together. No, it was a strategic move. It was a collaboration. That's all it was. It was a collaboration. Yes, it was worth. Yes, it was worth people evolving to tell the truth. You could not tell the truth about the repats. Yes, and to you, you're right. Yes, she's right. You couldn't. Because when I came out telling the truth, and I came out telling the truth around 2020, 21, that's when me and Bag was going at it. Because me and Bag were cool. Yeah, there's a video, there's a whole 2 videos about me on their channel where I'm out there with them. Yes. So we were cool. We were cool. But then they thought they was, I don't know what they thought. I don't know what Black Acres of the Gambia thought, but honey, they thought wrong. They thought wrong. Okay. They thought long, and they should have thought long, but instead they thought wrong. Okay. That's what they should have done. So we went to war. So we went to war. And everybody, because when I stood up and started telling the truth about what I saw when I went to the Gambia, and that's what I was doing because I was going to the Gambia, and they got mad. They got mad. And when I tell y'all, these people attacked me with everything they had. They went for my job. They went for my license. They called the state of Ohio Department of Education faithfully. Faithfully. Yes, to get my license revoked. Yes. Yes. Call the principal of my school. Call the district principal. They've done all, and they do that yearly. Yearly. But my school just laughs at them. They're like, whatever. 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 At this point, they know she's crazy. At this point, they know the Department of Education know these people are crazy. At this point, my school knows they're crazy. But this is what they did, because what did I do? I stood up and I spoke the truth to power, because it was just me. And y'all, they kicked me out of everything. They kicked me out of. Why y'all think y'all don't see me on nothing? I was around. Why y'all think y'all don't see me on nothing? I'm looking through the videos. I don't see Quasi. I'm like, how you gonna just leave Quasi out the whole thing? Eric got everybody there. I mean, me and Eric, I was even there. He don't have not one thing of him and Quasi. Nothing. And I'm looking at this video, and I'm looking at his channel, and I'm like, how can you talk about this movement and these people in Gambia and all these influential people, but you don't have Quasi on there? You don't have Art Kathy on there? And that's let me know that was a lot of jealousy over there. That was another sign to me. There was a whole bunch of jealousy that we didn't know about. But yeah, this person is right. That when you dare to tell the truth, and that's what I dare to do, tell the truth and tell everybody you better quit running over there like that. And then once you get over there, you own your own. You own your own. That's what was mind blowing to me, y'all. They lying to us, and then but when we get over there, after you done told us to lie and all the money gone, there ain't no social service to help you. There's no food pantry for you to go to. There's nothing. The embassy not gonna do nothing for you. But nobody telling you that. That's when I was furious. That's when I was furious, y'all. And I was like, nah, I'm telling everything I know. I'm telling everything I know. And that's when I said, if you got something you want me to tell, send it to me, honey, because I'll tell that too. My mom watched Black Sit and Bag religiously. Honey, yes. Thank you for being truthful about the origins. Now we can be truthful about the reality into thank you. And that's what I want. If you gonna lie about the beginning and the middle, then honey, how you gonna tell the truth in the end? You can't. The whole movement was a lie. The whole movement. This is just me from what I've researched, what I've studied, just from, my personal and professional opinion. That the people, I think what happened with this Gambian movement is I think people got jealous of Kwesi Boyd. I really do. I really think they got jealous of what he was doing over there. I think they got jealous of what he was doing. I think they got jealous of the number of people that were being brought over there. And see, this is the thing. Let me tell y'all this now, in all fairness. All right. Kwesi worked for Blacksit, Miss Blacksit. All right. Miss Blacksit showed Kwesi everything Kwesi was doing. A lot of that, I'm not going to say all of it, but most of that he learned from her. Okay. He learned different strategies, different approach, different things he learned from Miss Blacksit. All right. So he decides he's going to leave Miss Blacksit. He don't want to work for her no more, because he a man. He want to go do his own stuff. I understand that. So he want to go work on his own. So Kwesi went on his own, and he took some of the workers with him. Okay, which was what's his name? G. He took G with him, which is the tall dude. Y'all know G, the tall curly hair dude that used to be with him. Okay. He went with him, okay, and they start hiring other people, and they started doing the same thing Miss Blacksit was doing, but they were doing it with the Black American communities. The Black Americans were leaving Miss Blacksit, and they were going to work with Kwesi. And I believe, from my research, that's where the trouble began. That's where the trouble began. Because when everything was falling apart, there were two main characters who played a major role in this movement, who was in the background making sure Kwesi Boyd was brought down. And yeah, I have the documents to prove it. I read it. Okay. Adrian was one of them. How Kwesi can smile in his face and be cool with him, that shows me that man has a very, very forgiving heart. Very forgiving heart, because he's on there talking all kind of trash about Kwesi with what's her name, Phoenix and Black Acres. Instead of them now this is 2020. It's not even quite 20, when everything started kind of breaking down. Now you see it breaking down, and y'all know, all three of y'all have powerful roles in it. But at this time, y'all, everybody, them three, they're competing for who's going to be on top. And they see Kwesi's in the front. Kwesi's getting the Black American money, and they know Black Americans will spend. They know they will. So they're like, oh, no. We can't let him get all the money. We can't let that happen. So that's when I believe I'm not going to say Blacksit and Black Acres. I don't believe they sat down and said, we're going to do this together. I don't believe it was a plan like that. They was going to work together. But I feel like both of them decided, we're going to take this little, down no matter what we do. Because they felt like they should be in charge of this movement. Miss Blacksit, she was over there leading the immigration. She had done a lot. Miss Blacksit had brought a lot of people there. But they had accused Miss Blacksit of some illegal things. I didn't research her. I've never researched her. I was just, for some reason, I was never led to research Miss Blacksit. I was not. People asked me to, but I just did not. I felt like enough people was on her. I didn't need to get on her. I didn't need to say nothing else. James had said, UN had said enough. But anyway, so I felt like after that, Miss Blacksit had it in for him, and I felt like Black Acres of the Gambia had it in for him. What I was reading, they were in the background feeding Phoenix Rain, because her mind is not that big. Her brain is not that big. She has a very small brain, so she can't process information like that. Okay, so I don't even believe, I know, because I read the documents. I read the conversations. Okay, I've read them. where they're telling Phoenix what to do, where they're congratulating Phoenix for telling all these lies on Quasi, for saying all this, he was stealing money, but you can't prove he was stealing money. The money was in your name. That PayPal got shut down. They took that money from her account. That's in your name. But then you're going to say, oh, but it was Quasi, but it was in your name. You see what I'm saying? But she's telling them he's taking the money. He's taking the money. But there was no money to even be taken because she doesn't even understand. They didn't understand. This lady couldn't even understand a spreadsheet, y'all. I'm serious. I'm serious. So they were feeding her on what to do. And y'all know who else was doing it? Molly Morris. He was smiling in Quasi's face, smiling up in Quasi and telling her, don't tell Quasi, don't tell Quasi. Y'all look through my old lives. It's all on there. And I got the receipts on there to prove it. Don't tell Quasi. Don't tell Quasi. I don't want him to be mad at me. So don't tell him I'm helping you. She's sneaking out the house and she going to meet Molly Morris, and he over there talking about Quasi behind his back and smiling all up in his face. This is the jealousy that tore apart that Gambia movement. That's how I feel. I feel it was jealousy. I feel from what I see, I'm not going to say what I feel, what I think. It's what I think critically from a critical analysis. Because what I feel is just like my opinion. It ain't based on nothing. No, this is factual based. I believe the motivations behind these people's actions was their desire to be in power, their desire to make money at all cost, their desire to be in charge of this repatriation movement, their desire to be YouTube stars. Because if you see, Quasi was not on YouTube like that. He never was on YouTube like that. He tried to be, because that was social media is how you get people. But he's not Quasi is not that type of person. He ain't that type of personality. So that's why they got Art Kathy. I keep telling y'all that. So in my opinion, that was the reality of it. The reality is jealousy tore this movement apart. I believe Art Kathy had an emotional breakdown. I believe she had that because just going to Africa, that was her first time going to Africa. She never been there before. Now, how are you going to expect her to just, how are you going to expect her to live and just be normal? And she never been there before. So I believe she had a breakdown. That's why she was making all them videos, going off on people, because that's what it do to you. So I think that's what happened to her. I think Quasi was not ready for that part. He didn't know she was emotionally fragile like that. He didn't know that was going to happen, and he didn't know how to deal with it when it did happen. And Phoenix was there, and Phoenix was just making it worse. And I think all of that played a major role in Invest Relocate Africa falling apart. And once y'all Invest Relocate Africa fell apart, you can clearly see the movement starting to fall apart. The repats start to fall apart. Melanated Mosley, y'all remember him? Guess who he came there with? Guess who brought him there? Invest Relocate Africa. The lady Beverly, who passed away, guess who brought her there? Invest Relocate Africa. The lady Audrey, who passed away, guess who brought her there? Invest Relocate Africa. All of these people were a part of Invest Relocate Africa, and they were all coming to Gambia at the same time. But when Phoenix blew it apart, those people had no place to go. Once they got to the Gambia, they had no place to go because there was no more Invest Relocate Africa. It was no more. They had went into their Facebook group. I told y'all, they went into that group and told the investors, don't send any more money because they're just keeping your money. Someone said, are you going to give us some proof? Are you going to give us some screenshots? Are you going to give us something? They never did. But people got scared. People stopped sending money. People stopped paying whatever they pay. I don't know. I guess they pay whatever. Yeah. Everything was destroyed at that point. If the diasporans could have made money in Gambia, they would have remained there. I believe that too, Pan-Africanism. I believe that's the biggest issue because that's the role YouTube played, y'all. That was the role YouTube played because y'all know what YouTube is, a source to make money. It's a source to make money. But by YouTube money, it's just like all other money. You got to play by those rules. And YouTube plays by the algorithm rule. And if you're a full, now y'all know I'm not a full-time YouTube content creator. I am not. Okay, I do this on a part-time basis. Those full-time YouTube content creators, I can't even imagine what their life is like because you got to constantly outdo yourself. It's about the algorithm, y'all. They want you to have a highlighted story, an emotional story. They want you to have some kind of drama. They want you to have that because that's going to heighten up your engagement. You see what I mean? Not necessarily drama, but engagement. They want you to have a lot of engagement, and they want that engagement to increase. So each month, so let me give you an example. When I went to Gambia, my views will go up. All right. I'm going to do more live streams. I'm going to be on more. And I'll have more views. I have more views. I have more everything because I'm out. I'm on more. Okay. So that check for that month, the next month, that's going to be a higher check than the one for the month after that. And let me tell you why. You would think it would be the same, but no, it's not because it's based on views. So when I get back home and I go back to work and I'm not on you, I'm go back to doing part-time YouTube instead of full-time YouTube. The algorithm is not going to care about that. They're just going to know you've been gone and you're not on your job, and we're going to dock your pay for that. And trust me, your pay gets docked bad. That's why I'm just laughing at this. I'm like, wow. And then when I got sick, you can't have a sick day at YouTube. No, because they don't pay sick pay. But seriously, that's where YouTube get involved because YouTube was a way. It gave the repats a way to make money. It gave them a way to make money. And that's what they would tell you. The first thing you were supposed to do was start your YouTube channel. You know how Kenza tell them women, she's so dumb. This is all a blue. I believe now, y'all, this is truly an online course. These land scamming people take an online course to learn how to do this because they all say the same thing. And they all give each other the same silly advice. They were helpful. Let's see what this one says. Please hit the, oh, yeah. I'm sorry. We ain't here talking. We forgot. Please hit the like button, y'all. And give the video a thumbs up. Oh, and y'all, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, please. We're almost at 4,000 subscribers. Come on, help get us to 5 so we can get our message out. The more subscribers we have, the more likes we have, the more our message can get out. Hey, Jennifer, they went with high expectations. YouTube faked the movement, opening scam. Yep. I can't say it was YouTube, though. I would just say it was scammers. It was the scammers who saw YouTube as an opportunity. It's like all criminals, exploiters. Like I tell the kids, an exploiter, a manipulator, whenever they see an opportunity to exploit and manipulate, guess what they're going to do? Exploit and manipulate. So, mentally ill people saw this as an opportunity to exploit and manipulate. Those who have that where they exploit and manipulate, that's what they did. They thought they were going to mess up their money. They messed up their own money. Where are sisters in it? Who knows where they are? See, that's what I'm saying. Where are you? Because the heat in the kitchen got too hot. Y'all knew they were liars. They were just trying to make money off of y'all. Sisters International, really? But you got video proof of this man, Veronica, telling us that this man somebody broke into her house and she's scared, and y'all know she's scared. And what do? Y'all keep it a secret and don't want to tell nobody because, excuse me, you don't want to stop us from coming to Africa. You don't want to stop us from coming to the Gambia, so you don't tell us. And the only reason we find out about that is because guess what? I put the video out. Yes. Honey, I got a whole bunch more terrible stuff these people don't know. I was first introduced. Oh, wow. So you remember. That was a long time ago. To a blonde Kiki from Bag. Yep. You were glowing, very happy. I believe you gifted. Yes, I did with one of my nice purses. And let me read this right. I was first introduced to a blonde Kiki from Bag. You were glowing, very happy. I believe you gifted them a purse. And when you began calling people out, it sent shockwaves. But tell me, why did it send shockwaves? Because it did. I mean, they didn't expect that. They didn't. Because when I went there, they were everybody. When I went to the Gambia and I met the Repats, they all welcomed me. Mr. Melanated Mosley came to the airport to pick me up, and I didn't even ask him to. He wanted to make sure I had a ride home. You know, he came to my birthday party. Eric and Nicole was there. It was some more Repats I didn't even know who had came. Big Red and his wife had came. I mean, it was a nice little thing. We had it right up there. He didn't charge me a dime to have it there. Eric and Nicole, and Eric's wife can sing. She sang me happy. She sang happy birthday to me. Yeah, it was nice. But I gotta call a spade a spade. And when I got back, and what they got mad at y'all is when they found out I was cool with UN. That's what that's why they labeled me a snake, because I told them I was cool with him. All right. I told him that. I did not. Didn't nobody have, but no, I take that back. That's a lie. Wait a minute. I did tell them. I did. I told Cynthia. Yep. I told Cynthia that I was cool with UN. Okay. And she was saying that he lies on her and he sent somebody out here to spy on her and blah, 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 blah. And he's been out there to Gambia and all this. And I'm like, well, that don't sound like what he told me. You know, some of the stuff I could tell her, you know, just from James. I helped James I showed him how to use primary sources, like for your data. Okay. I showed him how to do that. I showed him how to like look up information, how to just use primary sources pretty much. Okay. So that was pretty much all I did. I just like, if I seen you was struggling with research and you was trying to research, guess what? I'll help you do it too. So I showed him how to do that. And I told her that. And I said, but he doesn't make that stuff up. I said, from what I've seen, people actually write him like they do me, you know, and send him information. So I didn't have to say none of that, y'all. I could have just sat there, act like I didn't know him and listen to her talk about him. I didn't have to say none of that, but I'm just going to keep it a buck. I'm going to tell you, yeah, you know, yeah, I know him, but you know, he ain't making that up. I could tell you that he ain't making it up. People call, people write. People are saying this about y'all. People are saying this about y'all. And she's the one who sat there and told me right after I said that, she sat there and told me that her sons were planning to scam the Repats, them and their friend. And she overheard them talking about it. And she told them that they better not do it. So when Cynthia and Rick found out that, and they found that out from me. Okay. That's when Rick went on to destroy my reputation, That's when Cynthia and Rick decided we're going to go after her and we're going to destroy her reputation and we're going to make sure she will not be a part of this community. Y'all should have said, y'all should have heard the lies. If you, I know some of y'all remember the crazy things they were saying about me. Said they paid to do a daggone background check. A background check and found out, y'all listen to this. I had been in prison 4 times. Or was it 5 times? I think either I had been arrested 4 times and in prison 5 times. And guess what it was for? Prostitution, the writing checks, like the lowest things you could think of what a woman would do. Those are the things they accused me of, and they were sending them around in an email. They were sending this information around in an email and through text messages or messenger, because guess what? It got back to me. It got back to me. And this is what these people do. We're going to try to destroy her reputation. And that's what they did. Well, they didn't do it, but they tried to. Yeah, but I don't know why it sent shockwaves. I don't know why it sent shockwaves, because everybody else was just going to be a part of the lie. That's why. They were going to be a part of the lie. I watched Blackset, however, I didn't detect character in British people words on how to tell their stories. Also, being from UK, myself, I understand class, British attitude. She didn't buy into the BS. What you mean you understand class and British attitudes? She didn't buy into the BS. Explain that. And see, that's another thing. See, this is why I couldn't talk about her, because I don't understand her culture. I don't understand her culture, because just because they're Black, the culture is not the same. Black British culture is not the same as Black American culture. Okay, it is not. It is not. Just like my culture, I'm from, not only am I a Black American, but I'm a Southern Black American who was born and raised in the Midwest, but I was raised by my grandmother who was from the South. So imagine that. Imagine the mix of my culture. So that's why culture is very important, because that's going to help you understand why these people are doing what they do. So thank you. I don't understand her culture at all. They too much bags. How about sisters in it? We don't know, honey. Don't nobody know nothing about them. When I told them, after I said that, after I found out the role Sisters International was playing with these ladies passing away and not telling anybody, and then after Veronica had passed away, they were actually recruiting another woman to take her place. They wanted another woman to take on that fresh food movement. I kid you not, I am not lying. Wanted another woman to take on that fresh food movement against those Arab people. Yes, they did. And remember, that's who Veronica was fighting against. Yes, London lady, I only watched Blackset a few times and always found her to be disingenuous. Oh, you didn't think she thought she was fake. When you say disingenuous, okay. She wasn't real. You didn't think she meant what she was saying. She was fake. I don't think it's just Black people, honey. I think it's all people. Why are Black people so crazy in 2025? I think they're all crazy. She did have a breakdown. I know she did, Vet. I could tell. That's what I was telling people. I'm like, no, that's what I was telling Quasi. I said, oh, Quasi, no. I think she's mentally ill, and I think she had an emotional breakdown, because being in that environment like West Africa, that can break you down very easily if you're not used to that. If Quasi Boy wasn't sabotaged, the integration of the diasporans would have been successful. And I agree with that, Pan-Africanism. I truly do. I truly agree with that. I really do. And Quasi didn't care who was going to be who was in the front. He doesn't care who's the face. He just wants to do the work to get it done. That's all. That was his main concern, getting the work done. That was his main concern, getting the work done. Not just not I want to be in charge. I want to be the face of the organization. No, it was like, let's get this work done. Let's get this movement. That's all he talk about is the movement. If y'all sit down and talk to him, that's all this man talk about. That's all he talk about is the movement. Going back to Africa. Kwesi is truly on this Pan African stuff, y'all. I kid you not. He truly is. I like Kwesi Boy, but to be perfectly honest, I don't believe that he is completely innocent in the money situation. We really have to hold our people accountable, even the ones we like. Exactly. But people keep saying that, but where is the receipts? You see what I mean? The buildings were there. These buildings have been rented out. They had, I forget how many buildings had been rented out. You see what I mean? There was workers that were being paid. There was buildings that had been rented out. So they were doing things. They have to do photo shoots. They had to do certain things. The money was to run that business. You see what I mean? So I think they thought it was just in a bank account. But that I didn't see. No one could show me where they had gave the money to him. People who they didn't, I take that back. They got their money back too. A lot of them got their money back also. So I think the money got messed up because the people who were in charge of the money, which was Phoenix, I don't think she knew what she was doing. I know she didn't know what she was doing. So I think that's why it got messed up. But as for him being a scammer, I didn't see evidence of that, y'all. I didn't see evidence of him stealing. I didn't see evidence of any. I seen evidence of somebody who was too naive when it came to women. That's the honest to God truth. And I think Kwesi is a nice guy. I think he's a nice man. But when it comes to women, I just don't think he realizes the cunningness behind a woman. I really don't. He believes you too easily. You know what I mean? And you can't do that. It sent shockwaves because you came as a guest and an ally. And we're polar opposites from unapologetic Negropean. Yeah, exactly. I was teaching him a skill. That doesn't mean we have to think alike. That's what I mean. People, and we would get into it. We would get into it bad about Black Acres of the Gambia. I know. So don't think for 1 second he'd be over there talking about Black Acres and I wasn't saying you like that when he put that picture up there of Black Rick when his mug shot. Oh, that was it for me. I was like, you didn't have to do that. We got into, well, I'm not going to say we got into it bad because he didn't say anything. He wasn't saying anything. He was just listening to me and I was just talking. And, he was just saying certain things like, why would you feel like that? It's just his picture. And I'm like, so why would you want to paint us like that? People always want to make us look bad. Okay, so a lot of us have gotten in trouble with the law. Why do you got to bring that out there? Why do you got to put that out there? Blah, 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 blah. Well, then I see later on, you got to put that out there because this man is getting all this money. And he's arrested for shoplifting at 50-something years old. Nobody should be donating him anything. There's something wrong. So we were opposites. But when it came to the research and it came to, getting messages out, we kind of, we agreed on that. Also, you did not come as a competitor like Kwesi or Blacksit. Yes, exactly. You're right. So they have put their oh, that's why they hate me. They feel like they let me in. They let a snake in the nest and they didn't know it. Oh, no, no, it was none of that. It was none of that. Uh, hey there, Mr. Scent Policeman. The scamming community also, what's that say? Self course on, they have a self course on. You look, yeah, no, they don't. Yoni steaming and garlic butter salt. No, they don't. And then ain't so stupid, but this is the stuff they do. This is the stuff, this is what they were doing. Just trying to get money. No, he's y'all, Mr. Scent Policeman is playing, but he for real. Because this is what they do. Sales. Thank you, honey. And thank you for the $5. Thank you, sweetie. It's so good to see you. I miss you. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, Miss Aretha, do you know I picked up that phone and I was about to call you today, but I said, no, I got to get on my YouTube work. Girl, what you been doing? Hey, Kiki, did it? Was it worth it? Wasn't worth it. I thought about you too. Yep. You one of the people I was going to bring up. I just ain't got to you. See? Miss Aretha, put in and tell us why it ain't worth it. Yeah. I kept asking, now, Miss Aretha, what about the experience that you learned? Was that worth it? Was that worth it? Some people have a Stone Age mentality. Yes, they do, Sherry. Where is everyone now? Thank you. I know two people still there. My ex-husband and one other lady who built a home. Who knows? She may be gone too. Oh, girl, don't say that. Yep, that's what I heard. They're all gone now. They're all gone now. All that money. For example, she carried British colonial entitlement mentality when in Gambia, and furthermore ran her mouth about her hardships living in the UK whilst being from a privileged herself, encouraging people to give up their social housing. Oh, in the UK to relate there to relocate to her buildings in the Gambia. No sound advice on how the pensioners would survive there. Oh, wow. No wonder they were mad at her. Rick made out like a bandit. UN was right about them, especially. Yes, he was. He was. He really was. He was absolutely right about them all that time. So now we're moving to we're at. The Gambia was often described. So, what was the Gambian repatriation dream? The Gambia was often described as a welcoming, affordable, y'all know that's what they were saying. It's so cheap and look, peaceful, spiritually aligned. Yeah. With Black Americans seeking relief from racial trauma of the diaspora. So they played it out like, oh, this is the place for you. It's peaceful. It's aligned. It's spiritually aligned. You connect with your ancestors. Look, life is slower. Community is stronger. Remember all of that? That's what they was telling us. It was an emotional pool. And remember, I told y'all about emotional buys. Their ideals were powerful and deeply, deeply emotional, y'all. Deeply emotional. You don't know until you go there and you just be, it's like you get under the spell. And you can't dare break the rule. You can't say nothing negative. You can't, you gotta be a part of whatever it is you gotta be a part of. Now, I want to share with y'all some more clips from people who I want to show you. Remember, y'all, when we were watching the videos and people were going to Gambia, right? Well, these are one of the videos. These are the clips I want to show y'all to take us back to that point, to when everybody was going there and see all these people. Let's just go down memory lane real quick. It ain't going to be a lot. I'm only going to do a couple. Y'all remember Veronica? Now listen to Veronica's story. Then I tell y'all, God is going to warn you. He going to warn his people. It's up to us to follow the signs. Veronica was very spiritual. I found this other video. It was in the middle of it. Well, it was probably about 5:30, and it was dark, and she was outside running, and she was saying, you know, how thankful she was to be connected to God. But I said, Veronica, why didn't you listen when God was trying to warn you? But we all do that. We all have done that. Now listen to this video, how on this clip, how God, before Veronica even went to the Gambia, before she got there, he tried to stop her. And if y'all don't know who Veronica is, let us know. All right.
So since I've decided to document my journey to the Gambia to Africa, today is Sunday, November the 15th. I should have arrived in Africa this morning at 7 a.m., but I didn't because I ended up missing my flight on Friday the 13th. Go figure.
All right. Look.
I ended up
Friday the 13th. Everybody know that's a day. When something happened on Friday the 13th, we all be like, uh-oh, you better pay attention to that. Tupac got shot on Friday the 13th, for those who didn't know. Yes, Friday the 13th. All right. Friday the 13th, she misses her flight. All right, let me go back to that. Keep paying attention to this, y'all. Keep paying attention how God warns us. But we were so in love with this movement. So in love with the movement that we didn't even. Oh, this is sad. Listen to this, y'all.
I ended up getting my COVID-19 negative because I ended up missing my flight to the Gambia to Africa. Today is Sunday, November the 15th. I should have arrived in Africa this morning at 7 a.m., but I didn't because I ended up missing my flight on Friday the 13th. Go figure. I ended up getting my COVID-19 negative results back on a Friday morning. Picked up my document, and I ended up sending my COVID-19 results to Africa in my printer. So I get to the airport here at LAX, and I don't have it. So of course I could not get on the flight. So here I am, and I'm at the Sheraton Hotel, and
So when I heard that today, I couldn't believe it. So Veronica gets to the airport. She didn't bring the COVID paper because she was scanning it, printing it to make a copy, right? So she leaves the paper inside the printer. You know how you could easily do that. She gets to the airport and they don't let her on her flight. Now, instead of Veronica saying, oh, that's a sign I ain't supposed to go, I'm not going. She persists because that's Veronica's personality. Veronica will not be denied. So she persists. And look what happened to Veronica.
I have to wait a whole nother week in order for my flight to the Gambia. I'm on my way, family. I'm going. So right now I'm going to walk down to Denny's, get me a burger for breakfast because I don't feel like breakfast. And we're going to continue with this journey. Yeah, thank you for joining me. This is going to be great. I'm loving this adventure. This is unfortunate. Definitely wasn't planning on this financially, but we trust in God. 100. I'm resting in Him. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Now, that was Veronica. That was Veronica on her way to the Gambia. The excitement, but did Veronica think what was going to happen to her, y'all, happened to her? Can y'all believe that? That's why I got to put this in a book, y'all. That's what happened to them ladies need to be remembered. Nobody need to ever forget their names. What was done to Anja, what they did to her, I can't even imagine. But the stuff people was writing me and telling me, them people ain't lying. Ain't nobody lying. And I'm asking my husband, will they do this? Will they do this? He like, yeah, they'll do that. Yeah, they'll do that. No, this got to be written. This got to be in print so everybody will know. It's like the Red Record. Remember the Red Record by Ida B. Wells? Well, this is the modern Red Record. Yeah. So let me get this other video up here. And that was the thing I noticed about all these people, y'all. And this was another, this people right here. This, hold on, y'all. This right here, these YouTube people. And I bet y'all do not even know they are gone. This one I'm about to put on right now. I guarantee y'all don't know she gone. Guarantee it. Hold on, let me figure out how to open it. But I'm like, so why y'all don't tell us? Hold on. All right, so this person was on our YouTube channel. And this person, I remember seeing her video, but I never watched her. But I seen her video for a long time. And I remember seeing this video about somebody's he left America having cancer because he wanted to pass away in Africa. This is Summers in Africa, y'all. So this was another person who took her 11. She didn't have 11 in. What did she have, y'all? 7, 8, something like that. She calls this her hedra. Hedra is like a it's like a journey to become a better person. Like what you on a journey to become the best you that you could be. You constantly challenging yourself to be the best you could be. So that's what she says, this Gambia thing. It's her journey, I guess, to be the best Muslim person she can be. All right. So she took her kids. They all went to Gambia. All right. And this was her record to all of us that this is what she was going to do.
My grandfather would be so happy and so proud if he could see how many.
Now that right there pulled on how many emotional heartstrings when she said, my grandfather, if he could see how many people.
His family members are living here in Africa. There are 21 of us here that we moved here to Africa. And, you know, if he knew that some of our closest friends came to visit here, my grandfather's best friend, a couple of his children, his 2 sons and his daughter, which is my childhood best friend, Salwa. Her name is Salwa, and she's my baby Salwa's namesake. And it's a really special time. My friend Salwa, her oldest brother, was named after my grandfather. His name is Habib. He was named after my grandfather. So we have some really, really close, special friends here in Gambia visiting, you know, for a couple of days. So we lost so many people all within 1 year's time. You know, after my grandfather passed away, my grandfather, his best friend's wife passed away, which is Habib's mother. You know, she passed away. And my grandmother's best friend, you know, before I don't even know how many years they were friends, like before I was even born, you know, she passed away. And these were just all people, you know, when you're young, you just expect people, it's like you expect them to live forever when there are people that are really close to you, people that are special to you. You know, you just don't ever imagine them leaving, even when you have elderly family members. You know, you just don't imagine them leaving. So we lost some really close people in our family, you know, all within a year's time, and they were just people that we always imagined would be part of the community. We always imagined would just be here and be in our family. And for my grandfather, although he was terminally ill, and we knew with the diagnosis that he would be passing away, it was like I just, with every day, I just never expected the day to come. It's hard to explain.
So that was one thing that I had noticed was also a reoccurring trend amongst these Gambian repats. Uh, they all had some type of underlying issue going on. They tried to make it seem like it was about racism and discrimination. You know, for some of them, it might have been, but for most of them, a lot of them, it was more about some personal issue. For instance, like my summers in Africa, like it was the all the people passing away. Death is grieving is very difficult, y'all, and everybody grieves differently, you know, but that is very hard. And then when you have, you know, a lot of people pass away at one time, you know, that's devastating. And you want to get away from that. You want to escape that feeling. You know, you want to get far away from that as you possibly can. So what do? The best thing to do is to go where we think it's the best place, is a Muslim country. And a Muslim country, oh, we'll choose the Gambia. Why they chose Gambia, I'm not sure, but we'll choose the Gambia. So already she goes to the Gambia just messed up. This video made me want to cry. And I never watched her videos like that. I didn't watch this is my first time ever seeing this one. We're gonna get to him, honey. We getting to him. Um, but that's my first time seeing her videos like that. And that was really sad. So let's watch a little bit more and see what else we're gonna hear.
January 2021. My grandfather passed away at 68 years old. It was
Oh,
his dream to be buried in African soil.
oh, he was sick, y'all. He was young. That's what's wrong. These are young people. Well, you're not young people, but you know what I mean. He's not an old man. He was only 68 years old. Oh, that's really sad.
So he moved to Gambia knowing he was terminally ill, and he was there in Gambia for 2 short months before he passed away.
Oh, Jesus.
Today, I'll be going with my family to make prayer in the masjid in Tallingden, in Gambia, that held his janazah. I was sitting talking with my grandfather before he passed away and before he made hijrah to Gambia. And I was expressing to him that he's done so much for me and my children.
But one thing I want to say about her, I've always observed about her, is like I've been around, you know, Muslims that, you know, cover and practice Islam. And one thing they would never do is what she's doing right here. Like she films herself, she films her kids, her girls, and she puts them on camera. She's filming this very private, intimate event. She's putting that on camera. Muslims won't do that, especially a Muslim woman. She's not going to do that. So this is why I'm confused about her. It's like the social media starts calling her. She got the social media bug. Like she likes social media. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't even do this. I don't never show y'all stuff like that because, for one, that's our family's private moment, and I'm not going to show it to the world unless he asked me to, unless my grandfather would have asked me to. But I can't imagine that because the Muslims don't do it. They don't believe in all of this.
All of my life, even in adulthood, after I was already married and had my children, he did so much helping me raise the children. um just I can't even like put into words how much he's been there just for me and my family on every level. And so I said to him, there's nothing that I can do to repay you for everything that you've done for our family. There's nothing that I can do. Anything I do, it will never amount to anything close to what you've done for my family. So my grandfather, he said, there is one thing that you can do that would repay me for anything that you feel like you need to repay me for. But he said, you won't want to do it. I know you won't want to do it. I said to my grandfather, I would do anything if I knew that it would come even close to repaying you for everything that you've done for me all of my life. My grandfather said, if your husband will allow you to, take all of your children and your whole family and leave from America, move from America and move to Africa so you can raise your children in Africa, so that you can focus on raising your children as good Muslims, give them a chance. He said, if they move back later on in life on their own, at least you will have given them the opportunity. He said, pick any country in Africa and move with your children. I said, but Grampy, how can I just take all my children and leave America and move to Africa? I've never even been to Africa before. I don't know what's there. How do I know that that's the best decision for my family? How can I even make that move? I have so many children. At the time I had
Man,
7
this
children.
boy looked like he crying. Yeah, this is not good. This is not good. This is stuff you keep to yourself.
Alhamdulillah, I have 8 children now.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
No,
said,
I don't know any Muslims who would do this, and I know a lot of Muslims.
Grampy, please, I'll do anything but that. There has to be something
Okay, but you did it.
to repay him. So I said, my grandfather was so funny. And his answers to life were so simple.
Okay, so that's her story. That's what brings Summers to Africa. So she says. She says her grandfather was passing away from cancer, and his wish. I don't know why he would wish that. I really don't. I would not wish my grandchild, but hey, that ain't my wish. That it wasn't on me. But hey, she said he wished for her to take all her kids and her husband to send her in Africa so they could grow up in a place they ain't never visited, nothing. And so she did it to please her grandfather. All right, she took all of them over there. African Goddess says, evening, everyone. Gambia was cheap back then. It was. Oh, girl, it was real cheap. Life is a slower, no, life is slower, no community. I was shocked of how the togetherness. Just a second. Okay. Um, I was shocked of how the togetherness that was talked about did not exist. And she's the second person who told me that. Okay. That it did not exist. They pretended like it existed, but it did not exist. A lot of a lot of infighting amongst the repats. And that's what I seen. And that's what I told y'all I saw. There's a lot of and you know who else they didn't like? They didn't like John. John, fulfillment of our soul. They didn't like John for some reason. Like they was not accepting him in a little clickety clack 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 for nothing. Now it seemed, I don't know if Rick really liked him because Rick is like fake, but I mean he seemed to be a little cool with Rick, but them other repats, they wasn't messing with him and Bella like that. So you would think, like, because John was really down for the Gambia. He spent so much money there. You know, he got married to Bella. He was really down for like everything they required for you to be, you know, because they had requirements to be a part of that little crew. So, um, I'm sorry, that was just funny to me. If you didn't meet the requirements, they kind of just cut you out. You just got cut out. And there was a lot of infighting. The Gambians do not like us, Mike. And she said in her experience, she believes the Gambians do not like us. Sherry says, what happened to Veronica? Veronica passed away. You didn't know that, Sherry? Yeah, she was unalived, honey. And then they had the nerve to say, put on her autopsy thing, she passed away from an asthma attack. Her family says she didn't even have asthma. Wait a minute, y'all got to drink something. African goddess said, this lady was probably the worst example. Those children were neglected in Africa. Why you say that? Why do you think they were neglected? Where's the happy companion? We're going to get to happy companion. But the happy companion, his was the same type of story, but the happy companion was a little different. He was a part, he came with Blacksit. All right. He was a part, and he had land problems with Blacksit. I don't think he ever got his land. I'm not sure whether he did or whether he did not. But I think the happy companion was just trying to be a part of the movement. You know what I mean? And the movement was just, I don't know. It's like they all fell into that wanting to be stars. They all fell into, I want to be the leader of this. You know, I guess they looked at Kwesi and said, well, if Kwesi can do this, well, hell, I can do it. But we all going to put our foot and keep it on his neck. And then we're going to stab each other in the back while we got our foot on his neck and see which one of us going to rise to the top. Because remember, Happy Companion, Melanated Mosley, and Eric from the Soul Food Joint. Y'all don't remember what happened with all three of them? And the single mom from the Gambia who was writing me, telling me what they were doing, that Eric allegedly tried to gave her something in her drink so he could, you know what, with her. Remember that, y'all? Yeah, that was wild. And how they, Happy Companion and Eric plotted to take down Mr. Mosley. They wanted to ruin his reputation. Yeah, you remember that? But I heard some horrible stuff about the melanated Mr. Mosley, y'all. I heard some horrible stuff. It's always personal, loneliness and escapism. And she's right. Because in Gambia, you can be very lonely. Extremely lonely. Because half the time the TV ain't going to work because the electricity going to be out. So you just going to hear nothing but silence and the noise outside. So you have to be able to have peace with yourself. You have to be able to spend time with yourself. And a lot of people can't do that. And that's one thing I've noticed about Africa. What you want to know, Sherry? You must didn't know, honey. You got to tell me what you want to know. Because it's a lot. Veronica was doing a lot over there, and they didn't like what she was doing. And her house was broken into. I told y'all that. And Sisters International knew about it. And instead of them sounding the alarm into the whole community and putting it on YouTube, and letting us know what was going on, they kept it a secret. Shortly after that, Veronica was found unconscious, unresponsive at her house. The door was open. Again, it was either the door or the window was open, just like it was when the robbery occurred. Sisters International and her little fake ASS friends they were in their little group talking about this. But see, God always reveal everything. So somebody was in the group who was like, y'all dead wrong for this. Y'all dead wrong for this. So they knew somebody had got into Veronica's house that night that she passed away. They knew the police had evidence that her house, the door was open. It was either the door or the window was open when they found Veronica. But they didn't tell us. They didn't share that information with us. You see, God don't like ugly, y'all. God don't like ugly. And this was ugly. These women, it was ugly. Because wasn't nobody doing nothing. But what could they do? And remember the $175,000? Remember that? When they was all in my comment section, Sisters International and her crew, y'all wasn't on there when we was all arguing with them. It was like a y'all. That was like a full-fledged war. That comment section, chairs was throwing, tables was being thrown across the room, couple of people got body slammed. It was bad. When I tell y'all it was bad, it was bad. Because they came on there talking trash, because they had forgot that they came on there and told me that everybody who donated to Anja's care was going to get that money back. And I think they were supposed to get somewhere, on top of that. So they didn't I said, well, that's not a donation. That's a loan. So how are you going to ask the people to pay back the loan when y'all made a loan, not a donation? So then they switched it up. Then they said, no, it wasn't to pay back anybody. It's to pay her medical bills. Y'all, you ain't got no medical bill in Africa. You pay that straight up front or you ain't getting nothing but sent back home. And she mad because ain't nobody boo-boo the food. They mad because ain't nobody boo-boo the food. And then we was on here once somebody in the repat community wrote me and said, I contacted GoFundMe to do a fraud investigation. Because this is Africa. You ain't got no $175,000 worth of hospital bills. And they want payment arrangements? Nah. So this person wrote me, sent me a receipt, and said I contacted GoFundMe and told them I suspect this is fraud. And GoFundMe said they was going to investigate. And I said, thank you, because I'm going to do it also. I didn't know you could do that. Thank you for letting me know. So why didn't you tell us that? See what I mean? Because this is the social media influencer part. The repatriation movement became more about social media fame. It became more about fame and fortune than it did about. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm getting really, really just. This is people's lives that I've talked about for almost 5, going on 6 years now. People's lives. And when I look back and I sit here and I say, only if they would have did that, only if they would have done that, that bothers me. That bothers me. That these people had information that you could help her. You could help us. You could have saved somebody's life with that. Because after Veronica, the women didn't stop passing away. They continued to pass away. While these lazy, trifling women sat on that information because they wanted to be social media influenced. Social media influencing became more important than the Pan-African movement. That's it. That's it. And we're going to get to that part. I can't get to that part tonight because it's, we got to finish looking at the people. But this is what I'm thinking. And I'm going to show y'all with videos, clips, like I always do. First it was about, I'm going to connect with my ancestors. I'm going to be spiritual. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Until them, oh, there's a consultation fee. Who was charging $200, $500 consultation fee? Who's doing that? But they was doing that. They was doing all of that. Because the message got lost. Because the true leaders, the true Pan-African leaders, who was what? Crazy Boy. Crazy Boy is a real Pan-African. He's a real Pan-African. Everything, y'all, I kid y'all not, everything that Black Acres people, Cynthia and Rick, has done to that man, do you know he will still sit down and talk to them? If they say, let's talk about this and try to work it out, do you know he will come over there and sit down and talk to them and try to work it out? I seen him do it. He did it right in front of my face. And I was really mad. Because me and Cynthia had just got into it. Me, Cynthia, and Rick. It's all on video. And what does Quasi do when they call him over there? He get up and go. Because he's like, we're not doing this, Kiki. We're not doing this. We're a family. He believed in the Pan-African movement. He was the impetus behind Invest, Relocate Africa. He had already been there, y'all. He didn't go there for the hype. He was there before the hype. He was the ones who was going that London lady was telling us about. Who was going because this is what I'm raised to do. I believe in this stuff. Not because, like me, I see it on YouTube. Although I did always want to live in Africa when I was a little girl, I'll never live there full time. Now, as a grown woman, never. Oh, shoot, I'm getting sleepy. Okay, we got to hurry up and we'll finish next week. If women are going to a funeral, it's forbidden. If women are in the Arab world, what? Say that again. Oh, yeah, hold on. I'm sorry, I'm yawning. Okay. Who's the little white boy? Girl, I don't know who that looks. Jennifer, how do I know? I figured that was a little relative, Sounds made up, London lady. I didn't want to say nothing, honey. But my grandma ain't gonna tell me nothing like that. She ain't gonna tell me that. She ain't gonna wish that I leave the whole family and go to Africa. She ain't gonna do that. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm thirsty. Her main goal is going to be to try to keep the family together. Do people suspect that Veronica? Yeah. Yes, they do. But how they do the autopsy is not a forensic autopsy. Can y'all believe that one? That part. That part, that part, that part. That part, that part, that part. It ain't a forensic it's not a forensic autopsy like we do here. We do forensic autopsies. Full and partial. Now, full one, they're going to do everything. Partial, they're going to do a little bit. But if you pass away suspiciously and unexpectedly, and somebody saying you passed away from asthma and you ain't never had asthma, you get an autopsy. Probably a full one. Well, the Gambia does something called, I think it's called an interview autopsy or a paper, a part, whatever it is. It's a question. It's a questionnaire. And they ask the last person who's seen you or your loved one. No, it's not the last person who's seen you. I'm sorry. It's your loved one. They ask them, they say, Kiki, can you tell me how you think they passed away? Oh, I think she had asthma because she had been coughing. And I think she might have had an asthma attack. Oh, okay. Then they're gonna write that down. There is a YouTube video on my channel about Veronica, not Veronica, about Mary and her autopsy report. Oh, wait, yeah. I'm getting sleepy. I'm not, if I'm not wrong, is that not the lady that was struggling to put food on the table? Which was she? Girl, with all those kids, I'm not surprised if she's struggling to do anything. Why are you looking like that? Why are you looking like that? Lone's World. Is that what they say? Lonzo's World. What's that? Lonzo World. What you looking at? You looking at what we talking about? What you looking at? Our Kathy was online saying this. I know. I hope that's not true. I pray. When I saw it, I just prayed for her. Yes, raising helps. Yep, raising helps money for helps with money for treatment, and go see her son. Yeah. Then she was miraculously cured. I hope it happens again. Quasi is still in Gambia. Oh, excuse me. He's still in the Gambia, y'all. Don't forget to hit. Oh yes, y'all. Please hit the like button. Is our Kathy faked having cancer? She will really get it in the future. I don't think she's faking. That's one thing. I do not think that woman is faking. Okay, let me put on another video because after we finish these two, we got to stop. Now, remember what was sucking us all in. I know it was sucking me all the way in because, shoot, I was ready to go. I was ready to pack my stuff, take my little savings, and I was going to get to getting. Take my niece with me, and that was going to be the end of that. We was about to go. Then I said, start watching these videos, watching these people on YouTube. And like I said, hold on, I got to put the video up. And then, like I said, that just made me what? That just made me want to go even more. Hold on. Y'all ain't going to believe these people. Yeah, so that was another thing. We started seeing all these people just saying they were leaving. And those were shocking. Those are shock value. So I was shocked. So that made me even want to go even more. All right, y'all know who this is. This is Eric and Nicole from the Soul Food Joint. This is who we was just talking about. And this video is when they decided to move to the Gambia. The volume is low on her video, so y'all might have to turn it up so y'all can hear.
Packing because my family and I have made the decision to move from the United States to Africa. We are going home, and so we're so excited that you are able to watch us on this journey as we prepare to go to Africa. So I want to just take you around and meet a couple people. Well, first, let me start off here. Right now, we are in Texas. And while we love Texas, it's a beautiful place. We've been here for the last 13 years or so. We kept feeling this pull and this, time for us to kind of transition and shift to what we feel is our home. Where we come from. And so with that thought in mind, after much prayer, much consideration, talking, discussions, we decided that this is the change that we need.
So see this one again. This isn't about, they start off with the racism stuff. Their whole thing is about racism, the song, George Floyd, all that. But what's the real reason? Again, we see the real reason is much deeper than that. The real reason is, what did she say? She wanted to go. She felt this longing to go home. She felt this pulling to go home. She wanted to go back. She wanted to go back and basically connect to the place where her ancestors came from. A spiritual journey. These are spiritual journeys. And like I told you, when there's spiritual journeys like this, man, you can get turned every which way but loose. You got to be careful because you got to be trained on the spirit world. The spirit world is nothing you take lightly. And if you have not been trained, you better not go playing with the spirit world, honey, because they're going to give you something you ain't ready for.
In our lives, for our
Ask Anja Africa.
family, to come out of this place where there's so much going on. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of chaos, but sometimes you just got to go with where your heart is. And so now we are ready to take this journey. We're excited about it, we feel at peace about it, and we want you to be a part of it. So come on and join me. So this is the beginning of our packing process. We've already done our pre-planning. We've already, had our discussions and trying to decide what we were going to take, what we're going to leave here. So right here, we haven't really done anything much of anything yet on this, but we've had these things for quite some time. There's a picture of my husband and I and some of our family members. So we're kind of tearing down everything just to get prepared. I don't think we'll take most of our supplies or kitchen things that we need. I just got my Power XL air fryer and my Instapot. Just got those things, and from what I understand, I hear that there's a lot of things that you have to. Their power is a lot different than what it is here in the States. So we're looking to get a converter. Hopefully, or we just might leave it here. I might pass it on down to one of my children or something like that. So anyway, dishes, we're leaving all of that behind. Pictures, we're leaving behind. We actually did an offer up, and we put some of our things online today. And let me tell you how quickly people have responded. No sooner. And excuse the house, guys, because it is really a mess right now because we're in the process of packing everything. Let me turn this TV down. My daughter's in here. Hold on. She's watching YouTube. Okay. So anyway, this is another TV that we're going to get rid of. I mean, it's huge. I hate that we can't take some of these things with us, but it doesn't make sense to. For the most part, we're just going to take things that we use for business. I make T-shirts. My husband records music. I make lipsticks. So all of our things like that we use for our businesses, we'll take those things. But TVs and our
see, this is what most of them did. These people had really nice things. They had homes, all right? These aren't people who just been starting out, who just started in life. These are people who've been building a life for a while. For a while they've been building this life. And now they're just walking away from all of it, selling it, some of it. Some of the stuff got sold, but a lot of the stuff was given away.
And he's also excited about Gambia. So
and they took their kids.
Say hi, Ian.
Hi. That's her little
and
boy.
And he's also excited about Gambia. So he's ready to go. I mean, him and my daughter Kennedy. So yeah, definitely we are going to take time to just kind of sort through what's needed, what's not. From what I understand, it doesn't really make sense to take a lot of the things that that we have here that we can possibly get there. So we want to travel as light as possible. But now let's go and meet my husband.
And it looks like a tornado in here. Come on, pan around. This is my studio, my working area. And I am packing and getting all of these things together. And just trying to get it all together. I don't, you never realize how much stuff you have until it's time to pack and leave. And guys, listen, I have like hundreds of documents and papers and different things that are literally over 13, 14 years old. But I'm excited about our move. Today is the first official day that we've made up in our minds that we're going to take this adventure. So I am certainly looking forward to sharing our experience with you guys and our lives with you all. And
All right. So that's where we're going to stop tonight. Then we're going to finish because I'm getting sleepy. We've been on here 2 hours. That's a long time. So we're going to stop there. This is enough for y'all just to settle in, see what's going on, because I'm going to do a series with this. So I don't want to give you too much because I can't give you too much because it's a lot and I'm getting sleepy. Yes, racism, they said, was the cause. Yeah, but it wasn't. As you can see, we know it wasn't because we can see it was something deeper than that. They should have visited many parts of Africa before moving there. Yes, and go many times. Many, many times. Uh, the CIA has people working in all African countries. When ordered to kill, they must obey. The devil wants to destroy the movement. Uh, Sadly, they'll encounter other. Yes, they will. You get the impression they moved without visiting. They did. These people moved without visiting. They didn't get on. Well, I guess I didn't get that far. She hadn't been. I think she had never been on a plane. I think so. But yeah, she doesn't. She has not. They didn't visit. Eric and Nicole had not visited. They just went. They were just one of those people who left and just went. Yeah, I know. Uh, Eric and Nicole struggled. They did. They struggled. So their story is sad. We're gonna look at theirs because he got and oh y'all, that's what y'all do. Okay, this week go look on his channel because those are the videos we're gonna go through next week because he's got all the stories of every dang on body. Okay, Mr. Aretha, I'm about to hang up and call you as soon as I get off of here. I get the impression that they moved without they did. Taking all that to Gambia. Yeah. Americans are rich. They can buy all the things again. Yeah, that's what they say. America is great if you have good health and income. Sherry is right, honey. That's just what they think. They think, oh, Americans are rich. You would just get some more. It ain't no big deal. These are people with skills. I bet more planning, it would have, yes, with more planning, it would have worked with more planning. These people were people with skills, a bit more plan. Yes, more planning. And that's what I told Quasi. That was the problem. You didn't have the right people in the right positions. But that's what when you don't have money to hire people, like to hire to good people costs money. You know what I mean? People with the skills to do that job that he needed them to do, that person's gonna charge you unless it's a college student. Now you can get a college intern, but the way Phoenix was presenting herself, there's no way she would have went there and just worked for like servitude. Not servitude. Yeah, it was like an indentured servant. Sarah Kunda market $100 for the lot. Uh, Speaking for myself, we were foolish. I think a lot of people were. Heavy pedal time. Yeah, a lot of people were foolish. A lot of people were well, I shouldn't say that. All right. I shouldn't say they were foolish. I'm gonna say it looks like to me, because I want to be like really objective, right? I really think that they were led by this movement. This movement was so intoxicating for us. Seriously, seriously, Rick is a liar. He's a good liar. He's a great manipulator. When Rick would stand up there and talk about the unity we were going to have, what we were going to have at Black Acres, this community they were going to build, we're going to look at all of that. These people were scammed. We were scammed. We were told a lie, a deliberate lie. We were fed a lie on purpose. And why? The question then becomes, but why? And the why I come up with is because social media demanded it. You know how YouTube demanded it? You know how YouTube demanded it? Because, like I told you, those algorithms got to stay up and they got to go up and up and up. Because if they don't, your pay is going to be hit. And if you live it off YouTube, you can't take no L like that. So, what are these people going to do? They're going to do whatever they got to do to keep us coming to the Gambia. Whatever they got to do. And the first thing they tell you is get a YouTube channel. Do you got a YouTube channel? Get a YouTube channel. It's good to see you, Heavy Pedal Time. African Goddess says that's why some people are calling it a cult. Oh, the Gambia? Are you serious? They're calling what a cult? The Gambian Repat movement? What is exactly are they calling a cult? I'm getting sleepy too. Yeah, Joy, we about to go. Have a good night, Kiki and chat, and enjoy the rest of y'all weekend. Your weekend. Yes, I am, honey. So look, yes. African Repat. I mean, look at that. I said African Repat. Y'all know I'm sleepy. African Goddess. Why you say that? So look, that's where we're gonna stop at tonight. We're going to stop right there because we've been on here 2 hours and 10 minutes and I'm very sleepy. And there's a lot, so much more we have to talk about. So remember, we're researching these repats. We're looking at the steps they made in this repatriation movement. You know, from 2020, we're going to look at 2020. I'll tell y'all for sure because I'm going to go back to when Kwesi went there because he was really the one. He was the real Pan-African from what I can see. Rick is a Pan-African too, but Rick is crooked. Rick is crooked. He's crooked. He a crooked one. He crooked. Ain't nothing right about him. The whole move back to Africa thing. Oh, it's a cult. It has cultish ways. You're right. You're right. They require a certain type of thinking. You know what I mean? And if you don't think like that, you're kicked out the club. But that ain't no club I want to be in. So look, we're going to finish talking about this. We're going to finish talking about all of this next week. The pandemic repat movement was more bewitchment marketing than a cult. What you mean? All sides must hold their accountability. All sides. Now the bewitchment, that I believe that because that spiritual stuff has been going around. And you see, they all talk about my ancestors. They don't even know who their ancestors are. Ask them. Say, who are your ancestors? They're going to start naming people. Hell, they probably start naming famous people. And then y'all say to this, when they do that, say, no. Who are your ancestors? They're telling you, and you know what? If they start telling you their names, they don't know their ancestors because guess what? Your ancestors, the one who really impact your decisions, we don't even know their names. That's how ancient they are. That's how ancient they are. We don't know their name, but they know ours. And they know every hair on our head. And she's right. My ancestors, I'm going to juju. You know, Cynthia try to juju somebody in a minute. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. So it was about bewitchment. They went there with the wrong place, with the wrong thinking. Truthfully, I am rich and happy in America. Thank God. Oh, good, Sherry. Bewitched, high level of influence. Yep. No. Visiting Africa makes you smarter. Exactly. So they're not going to let you go. No, they don't want you to. But I'm thinking bewitchment about the high level of influence was the witchcraft that they all, because they all were involved in that. Remember, they all were involved in this crazy witchcraft stuff. Just I'm like, out of all the things, and that's what my husband would say, baby, I don't understand your people. Out of all the things to get involved with over here, they come and get involved with the negative stuff. Why would they do that? Only to hurt themselves. All right, y'all, that's all I got for tonight. I got a lot more. That's a lie. I got a lot more, but we just ran out of time. So we're going to continue to talk about the repat movement, right? Was it worth it? They sold everything. And when I say they sold everything, they sold everything. Everything. And what they didn't sell, they gave away. Sherry says the blacks who arrived in 1619 in the U.S. were from Angola. The African Americans are from the Mundundu tribe, Mbundu. I know they captured the Prince of Angola into slavery. I know that. I know they got so greedy with it that they was just grabbing anybody and everybody. So if you think, and see, that's what they don't understand when people be saying, there was queens and kings. It was queens and kings, but everybody wasn't no king and queen. Some people was really slaves. And you can tell. You can tell the ones whose family was really slaves. I don't mean no shade. I ain't trying to hurt nobody's feelings. I'm just telling you what my grandmother say, what the Lord loved. And that's the truth. Yes, the queen of witchcraft, honey. You know that's right. Hey, why you say heavy? No, Heavy Pedal Town. Now I know, girl. I just kept on clicking. Happy holidays, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you, Kiki. Happy holidays. All right, y'all. I'm about to get out of here. We're going to finish this next week. Hopefully, we'll finish next week. The Americans who arrived in Virginia in 16, okay, were from the Mundundu people from Angola. Do y'all know? I'm going to tell y'all this and then I'm going to get off real quick. There is a place in Virginia called Pocahontas, Virginia. It's a Pocahontas Island, and it's a old, like a really old African American community, and they're looking for some Black people to come there and invest in that area. You know how y'all always want to go to Africa and invest in Africa? Why don't they want to invest in a community like that? You should. It's a small rural area. You know how they want to go build a community. We could all go build a community over there. Been in and having friends sold and sitting by the door. Do it tomorrow, Kiki. What, the show? I can't do it tomorrow. Is that what you're talking about? The show? No, I can't do it tomorrow. Oh, sorry. I got to read some more. I got to do some more research. I got to get it all together. This is taking a lot because I got to actually watch the videos and go through listen to what these people are saying. So look, y'all, I'm about to get off here. I'm sleepy. All right. I love y'all. Thank you for coming out. And that was a really good show. I really liked it. It's going to get much better. Like we're getting ready to get to the nitty gritty. And the nitty gritty is, was it worth it? You sold everything. You left everything. You walked away from everything. And now it's called Pocahontas Island. Pocahontas Island. So y'all let me know if y'all want to let's plan a little trip to go there and visit. Because it's in Virginia. It ain't that far. And then maybe we could do like a little committee, like a little thing with them. Because it's a nice little town. It is a nice town. But it's one of them towns that's dying because all the people there were older. Pocahontas Island, Virginia. That's it. Do a video on it. I am. Yep, I am. And I'm going to see if y'all want to go and we can go down there. Because she says they need some African Americans to come and invest in the city. Because the city is a historical city. And the people have passed away. Historical towns, you can't go building in there, you can't go tearing up, but you can build houses, you can build some stuff in certain places. And she was showing all this land, and she was just saying she wished we would come down there and help them, because they really need help. And I'm like, well, if we can go to Gambia, why can't we do that here? Why can't we get? I mean, you could still that, and I don't mean you don't have to help Gambia either. If you want to do it in Gambia too, but the point is, you can do it here, and then we could take a visit there. They have all these historical stuff, like they showed one of the Underground Railroad houses. It was like a museum now, and then there's a church that was where somebody else lived. It just is. If you like African American, if you like our history, you would love Pocahontas Island. And look at the name of it, Pocahontas Island. Right there, that should tell you right there. That's a lot of history. All right, y'all, I'm gonna do a bit video on that and put that out there to see if anybody want to go, because that would be nice, and we could raise money to do some kind of project there. Even if it's like a house, we can build a house or something. Because she said they need houses built. They need people to come, families to come there and live. Yeah, Joy, it sounds like a lot of fun to me. Kiki, remember when no one believed you in, including me? He was right, honey. I didn't believe him. And I was there like showing him, no, this is how you do that part. No, this is how you do that part. But no, I'm not going to say I didn't believe him. I believed him because I knew he had the documents. I knew people had sent him the information. But I didn't like how it just would hurt me when he would talk about our people like that. It would just really hurt me. Oh, Sherry, thank you for listening. So, all right, y'all, we're going to finish this conversation next week about was it worth it? Selling everything, the repat movement in the Gambia, which was heavily influenced by YouTube. Was it worth it? Was it worth everything that those people went through? All right, we're going to finish talking about this next week, y'all. Thank y'all for coming out, and I love y'all so much, and we'll finish talking next week, and I'm going to get that video done about Pocahontas Island so people can see it, and we can plan a trip there.